All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first session. We're really excited to have you here. Can everyone hear okay? Sound good? Okay, excellent. My name is Jill Dvorak, and I'm the Chief Content Officer of a company called Commerce Next. We are US-based, as you might be able to tell from my lack of a British accent. But we work with all different retailers and brands in the US, putting on shows similar to this. We're part of the Closer Still family, and we are really excited to be here. I have brought 4 incredible US and global brands that are here to explain what customer retention means to all of them and hopefully impart some wisdom for you. So firstly, we'll just go down the row. I have Sarah Wallis to my left. She's the Chief Operating Officer of a company called Minted. If you don't know them, you need to go check them out. All sorts of custom marketplace artisan products, absolutely beautiful. To her left is another Sarah Holley. It's the Sarah Show. Sarah Holley is the Senior Brand Expansion Manager at Nestlé, a company I'm sure you've all heard of. To her left is Nadina Guglielmetti. Nadina is the Chief Customer Officer at Vitamin Shoppe. And to her left is Christopher Thomas Moore, the Chief Digital Officer at Domino's Pizza. All right, so in being here today, we wanted to sit and talk about what retention means, but these 4 were chosen very purposefully. We have food, we have CPG, we have marketplace, and then we also have kind of hard goods and some commodity products at the Vitamin Shoppe. So everyone has to look at retention quite differently. So it's a very purposefully driven panel. Also, they're all my friends, so we were going to have a great time together today. So firstly, let's talk about challenges that you are all facing with customer retention. What types of challenges are you facing, and how are you going about kind of rectifying any of these? I think we'll start with Sarah Holley.
Wonderful. Well, really excited to join you today, Jill. When I think of the challenges that we're facing, specifically in consumer packaged goods, when it comes to the commerce space online, is we're really challenged with how we show up consistently on the digital shelf. That's our first concern. The next thing that we're thinking about is how do we make that path to purchase easier for our consumers and our customers? And really the third piece is how do we make sure that we're continuing to optimize all along that path to purchase, so we're continuing to get better. And that may look like price pack architecture, so each consumer that comes through different channels gets exactly what they need every time.
I love that. CTM, I know you guys had some recent changes to your loyalty program. Do you want to talk about how you're retaining customers at Domino's?
Yeah, hello everyone. Good to be here today. So I represent both the U.S. aspect of Domino's as well as the global side. And on the U.S. side of the house, we just relaunched our loyalty program, Domino's Rewards, which we're really excited about. But loyalty in the space of food is like non-existent, right? Because everybody likes to try something different, right? And you add into the mix the food aggregators, providing a lot more variety and options of products to be delivered. Loyalty is a real big challenge. And so fighting for share and share of wallet is a continuous challenge for us. But having strong offerings and value propositions that you can provide directly to your consumer, as well as a loyalty program that rewards those customers for their loyalty with your brand, has been beneficial for us, and we're seeing great success thus far with the relaunch of our new program.
So Nadina, we were talking very similar to what CTM had just done. On our prep call, this hadn't been launched. You had relaunched a loyalty program, really rewarding behavior rather than just purchases. Can you tell us a little about your new program?
Yeah, we've gone through, so Nadina Guglielmetti, Vitamin Shoppe. We are a retailer in the US. We also have an online website, so Omni. And in 2019, we started our journey of evolving our loyalty program. We relaunched it to improve and kind of create better retention and engagement with the program, completely rehauling the loyalty program. But loyalty, especially in the US, everybody has a loyalty program. It's a very commoditized business at this stage. I'm sure Americans have at least 5 cards in their pockets that they use. I mean, I can look around me. So we had to really rethink what are we doing for our customers to continue to engage them, because the idea of just rewarding a customer for a transaction isn't enough anymore, especially for a business like ours. We sell vitamins. It's a very commoditized product. So to make sure customers are incentivized to take an extra trip to us is a really big job. So what we did was we partnered with Oracle and we began to reward customers for behaviors. So fill out a survey, you can get a point. Give us your birthday, some PII, and we'll give you a few points. Look at a video, download our app, engage with our stores, and we'll give you some points. And what we noticed, and this is new data, so I was very excited to share that what we've noticed is with customers who are engaged with our program, we saw a 49% lift in shopping frequency, which is a big deal for us. So if your frequency is you're coming in about every 12 weeks, and we can make a lift of about 49% with an 11% increase in basket size, huge win for us. And just by changing the construct of our program. So we were very excited to get some of these results.
Great. I don't think anyone would sneeze at 49%. That's enviable for all businesses. I think I've eaten 49% more pizza this year.
I approve.
As evidenced by a big black dress on stage. Yeah. I know, Sarah Wallis, said you talked about Minted has a little bit of a different type of loyalty. How do you guys drive loyalty?
Well, I mean, I think now's the moment for me to answer the question, why is there a chief operating officer responsible for supply chain, distribution, customer service on stage talking about loyalty? And the answer is fairly straightforward, which is that I make my marketers' jobs really hard or really easy. Because fundamentally, we all look at NPS, and NPS wildly swings based on the experience that the customer has once they've made a purchase. And at Minted, because our product is so highly customized and personalized, they actually will start to engage with the operational side of our organization much, much earlier before even making a purchase, because they're personalizing their product. They want to make changes that they can't do themselves on our web interface, and so we work with our customer service team worked with our design operations team very closely to make sure that everyone can get exactly what they want. And then, of course, we are incredibly, incredibly focused on on-time delivery, making sure that the product is QA'd before it goes out the door. Again, it's personalized, it's made to order. And so we need to make sure that it is exactly what the customer expects. And then finally, Minted is a higher end brand, and so we have extremely high standards for the quality of everything that we send out. So from the Minted perspective, as well as from my COO perspective, really it's the focus on how do I make it super, super easy for these folks to tell a customer, hey, we've got this that we think you'll want, come back and buy it. And for the customer, it's a no-brainer, right? That's my goal.
Love it. So let's talk about how you drove these digital purchases. How are you incentivizing? CTM, your program is fresh in my head because I order from it all the time. What were the changes that you made in the loyalty program, behavioral, menu, et cetera?
Yeah, so when I tell people about the changes to our loyalty program, I like to use that song, more, more, more. How do you like it? How do you like it? Because that's what we did. And so, contrary to what we're seeing in the United States, a lot of food brands are actually devaluing their loyalty programs versus adding more value for consumers. And we decided to lean in the opposite direction. And so what we did was lower our threshold for qualifying orders from $10 to $5. And that really opened up the door for a lot of single purchasers that don't hit that minimum threshold in the past program. We expanded our redemption menu. Before, you only were able to redeem once you had 6 purchases or 60 points on a 2-topping medium pizza. And now we have a whole menu of different items that the customers can actually redeem against at 20, 40, and 60-point thresholds. So completely changing the dynamic of the redemption structure. And last, we added a ton of rewards to the program, so perks, we call them. And so from your anniversary perk to just member appreciation perks, trying to give that incremental value on the base program to keep the stickiness with our customers. So we're really excited because it's a big change for us over the life of a 6-year-old loyalty program. But thus far, the results have been really promising, and we're really excited about the future.
And it's 3 weeks in, so you're getting
3
the
weeks.
first. Yeah, you're getting the kind of the first.
Hot off the
taste.
presses.
Hot off the out of the oven.
Oh, that was good.
There you go. I used to be in marketing. Nadina, were there any other stats you wanted to run through and kind of that you learned? Yeah.
You know, when we changed our program, one of the biggest challenge was, this was in 2019, that our new customers weren't earning their points quickly enough, so they weren't moving up into tiers. When we constructed the program, we created 3 tiers, gold, silver, bronze, which was different, and then we made sure that those new customers were able to earn points faster so they could move up, get more benefits in subsequent tiers, and engage with the program in a different way. So that was really important for us. In addition to that, you know, loyalty it's always great to have a loyalty program, but if you're not actively communicating what you're doing or engaging with the customer through your channels, it doesn't really mean much. So we created a variety of life cycle programs. We embedded the program into our email cadence, so it wasn't just sort of set to the side. It's actually completely infused into our CRM communications. It sounds very basic, but really critical. We also developed something which actually has won a lot of awards through our partner Removable Ink, a shoebox in our email. So every time you get a notification or an email from the Vitamin Shop, at the very top, we recognize who you are, we tell you what customer tier you are, and what points you have right in your email. And that's also a great way to remind customers, this is what you have, this is how many more points you need, and how much money you can redeem and use in your shopping experience. So that was another big win for us early on.
Yeah, showing them the loyalty they've already given to get more. That makes sense.
Yep.
So I know all of you have customer insights and data insights teams at your company. How are you using kind of them to figure out how to personalize? How are you kind of marrying the business side, the customer side? Sarah, Holley, I think I'll start with you.
Yeah, so it's a little different for us, right? Most of what we do isn't direct to consumer, but data is incredibly important to everything we're thinking about. So most of my job, I'm thinking about brand expansion. What are some new product ideas? So for data, we're looking and mining those ratings and reviews that are seeing from our shoppers, our consumers, to understand what do they like about our products, what don't they like about our products. I think a really good example of this is in the US we have a coffee creamer brand called Natural Bliss. We made some modifications to the recipe. Usually we don't hear too much. We heard loud and often from our consumers that they didn't love it. And so we were we were looking at what the data was saying. We were marrying the shopper data. We were marrying our syndicated data and then looking at those ratings and reviews to say, hey, we missed the mark. And we very quickly were able to pivot and reach back out to those consumers to say, hey, we heard you. We didn't get it right this time, and we are going to get it right. We hope you'll come back to us. So we're really getting, marketers would never talk about that usually, especially in brand marketers, but we're looking at really those insights and listening to consumers to see where we're making it and where we're missing the mark.
And not to lead you to the next answer, but you also listen to employees. And how do you get ideas from inside? I know you've created a product.
We do. So one of the great programs that we have is an open channel program. And so we have thousands of employees at Nestlé USA. And our open channel program allows us to solicit ideas, product ideas, process improvement ideas from those consumers. And so I was able to participate in this. I'm a user as well. And Open Channel, we had pitch day, and the idea was, what are some healthy product ideas? And so as an employee, I was able to say, hey, I love pizza as well. I don't love carbs, and submitted an idea for a chickpea-based pizza crust that we leveraged under one of our existing brands called California Pizza Kitchen, which is a partnership with those restaurants. So really great that we're thinking of data from different areas, right? We're thinking of how are those online user reviews, but also those customer insights can come from your employees as well.
That's amazing.
I think my kids are eating a chickpea crusted pizza while I'm here with all of you guys.
We can all hope.
I hope so, yes. So at Minted, I think about customer data and information leading to what we do in a few different ways. I think the first one is that to remember that fundamentally looking at past customer behavior may or may not be the behavior that you want from your customers, or frankly even that they want, and it may not be the optimal outcome. And so always sort of putting it through the filter of, yes, this is how they behave, this is what they're telling us through their behavior, but then thinking through what are your goals and objectives around how do you want customers to behave and interact and know about your brand. That was on that. Sorry.
They agree.
Nothing. Gong show is coming on next.
So maybe I'll move on to the next way that I think about customer data. We actually use NPS and Net Promoter Score very heavily. We use Net Promoter Score both from a quantitative perspective to understand where we stand now, where we're going, what the impact of various elements could be, but then also I find that the qualitative information is incredibly powerful. Yeah. And I'll give an example. I'm no longer at Gap, so I'm not speaking officially, but one comment from an NPS score that I read, or an NPS survey that I read when I was at Gap, said, I buy for multiple children. Could you please just have the shopping cart organized by size? Oh. And I was like, well,
Genius.
yeah, that's a really good idea.
Makes a lot
Let's
of
do
sense.
that. Because as soon as I saw that, I thought, well, I've got 3 kids, and I instantly recognized the frustration of trying to figure out like how many T-shirts I was ordering for each one. So I think looking at the qualitative is really important as well. And then finally, I think don't let the perfect get in the way of good enough. And everyone in this room is here learning and is good at what they do. And therefore, you will know what's right. Like the data is not your answer. The data is a guidepost for you to then overlay your experiences, your goals, what you see about the future. Customers are always changing. The world is always changing. And their expectations are changing all the time. And so that's the context, that's the bridge that you can build between your data and your actions that you take.
Love that. Looking CTM, I know one of the things you use at Domino's is a specific type of diagram that helps you understand kind of how to make those new innovations. Can you walk us through the process you guys go through to come up with these?
Uh-oh, can you hear me?
Is your mic not on? No.
Check one, okay.
There you go.
Okay. Check one. Oh no. Can you hear me? Okay, there we go. All right, so at Domino's, we use what we call our attention map. And generally what we find is the biggest brand actions that we've done as a brand come as a result of leaning into the tensions and the lives of our customers. And sometimes those tensions have absolutely nothing to do with us as a brand or our relationship with them. They have to do with the broader kind of environment that we live in. And so when we do this tension mapping, we really look at 3 different levels of tensions. The first is, what are the tensions in the life of our customer? What's their daily pains that they go through, and is there an opportunity for Domino's to address that? Next, we look at what is the category tensions that exist. So specifically, as we look at the pizza industry or the food industry more broadly, what are some of those tensions that exist and how can we address it? And lastly, we look at the overall subculture or the overall environments in which we live in and what are some of the tensions that happen there. So when we pull all of those together, generally in the center of that is where we find some of the biggest brand actions. And so an example of that is, post-pandemic, we are now on the go a lot more than we were before. And so getting food while you're on the go, thank you.
Thank you.
Check 1, 2, can you hear me? Okay.
Nice.
So getting food while you're on the go is, a new reality or back to kind of our initial norms. And so when we thought about how challenging that is for families, we wanted to invent a new technology that made that a lot easier. And so we birthed a program that we called Pinpoint Delivery, where we are the first in the category to be able to drop a pin wherever you are.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And have pizza delivered just about anywhere. And so be it at a soccer match, be it at wherever the random places we are on day to day, having food now be accessible when you're on the go was a big tension. And so that tension map just helps make sure that we have precision when we lean in and really identify some of these newer innovations that we work on a day-to-day basis.
Well, and it's not the easiest thing to do, right? Like, the commercials where people,
Yeah,
airdrop,
you're flying out of the sky.
It's much
No.
harder to do pinpoint delivery than just add a new menu item or come up with something that's
Absolutely.
easier for Domino's.
It was a massive integration that we did in partnership with Google,
yeah.
over the course of over 12 months. And so we were the first in the industry to leverage their newest mapping technology to be able to leverage that lat long in a way that no one else has done. So it's not easy, but the payoff is big. And sometimes the payoff is just in what we call tequity, the tech equity that we build as a result of these innovations that provide a halo to the overall brand. And so it's been fun to see customers use it in all the different places, from parks, beaches, and random places that people are now getting pizza.
Any really dangerous places they've been asked to deliver that?
No, we keep our drivers safe.
So let's talk a little about partnerships, because you can only do so much with your brand and your tech. How are you looking at either brand partnerships, technology partnerships? How are you all looking at ways you can kind of innovate forward and help that customer journey? I know, Nadina, you've done some things here.
Yeah, we sell a lot of third-party brands, and some of these brands, Nestlé is one of them, of course, and some of the brands come with influencers. Large, renowned influencers. Logan Paul's one, if you know him in the US. He's basically his own YouTube channel. And we launched the brand Prime with Logan Paul and his associate. And one of the things that he did is he actually walked into a store, took a video and posted it online. It probably got more video views than a commercial for us. So these are small ways that we leverage partners. So vendor partners, what they have access to are really critical for us. Those influencer visits, both online and offline. As I mentioned, even sometimes through our loyalty program, we do special events. So we incorporate some of those visits into special moments for our members as well. And then, of course, on the technology side, we're always looking and resourcing who's our next partner, who will help us disrupt our customers, kind of back to the data question.
Yep.
Based on all the data we have, are seeing, are noticing, how do we disrupt our customers in a way that'll help them shop with us more easily? So all the different ways. Google has been a really big partner with us, for us. So tapping into a lot of their betas as well. So some of our tech partners are really critical so that we can test in new betas. We tapped into their local ads a very long time ago, which is mostly benefit stores. And we've seen incredible lift in store traffic because of those betas. So whatever our partners offer us, we always want to tap into and try to leverage so that we can influence traffic. And that's one way. Google, of course, is large, renowned. They always have something in the works.
Yep.
So we're always a willing participant.
Love it. Well, and part of that is why Vitamin Shoppe, right? If, like you said, some of these products are commoditized, why would they come to Vitamin Shoppe? They have the experience, might meet Logan Paul, might get a free Prime, Some of those are driving people in all of your commerce, right? It doesn't have to be digital or...
Absolutely.
take it
And
anywhere.
what's important for us as a specialty retailer is innovation of our third-party brands. The innovation they offer to our customers is critical. So we always have to be the first to have something.
Yep.
We deeply look at data to help inform what's coming next. And some of that data comes from TikTok.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many trends, especially in health and wellness, come up through TikTok that might influence inventory decisions of what we need in the moment. So we're constantly pulling data from a variety of partners to think about what's next, what's the innovation our customers expect from us, because that's really one thing that unlocks a trip for a specialty retailer.
In the store. Do you want to talk about partnerships at all? Or anyone else want to? I'm gonna throw to CTM for one other amazing partnership they did, Stranger Things. I don't know if that's as big of a deal here as it was in the US. Stranger Things was a television show about a year and a half, 2 years? Oh God, maybe even longer.
Yeah,
How
about
long?
a year and a half ago.
Okay.
So we love Stranger Things. So we like to do really crazy stuff with the brand, and so we were thinking about how could we make a partnership very Domino's, and so what we did is create an app that was our mind ordering app, and with this app, you would basically bring it up and it would bring you to Hawkins Laboratory. So for those that have seen the show, like you're in the middle of the environment looking at all the crazy things that they show in the show. But by looking at your phone, you actually could order pizza without clicking or doing anything on your device. And it was really cool, and a lot of people used it. And so for me, I think that the testament of that was, how can you make the partnerships relevant for your brand and in a lens that speaks to the heart of who you are as a brand. And for us, the pizza occasion, technology forward is who we consider ourselves to be. And so finding a way that you could place that order in this experience of a Netflix show was a really cool innovation. So mind ordering, brought to you by Domino's, was what we launched.
Like I needed it to be any easier. The problem with that is if you give your kids your phone, they can also order. They can unlock it and order food. We have about, oh, go ahead. Yeah, go back.
Minted has a few partnerships that I can talk about, and it comes back to really being strategic and thoughtful about what the goals are. So Minted works with artists and designers. We don't do any of our own designs in-house. We work only with external artists and designers. And we have partnerships with Disney, which is incredibly powerful. We want to be with our customers at all of their life special moments. Yep. And so we actually have worked with Disney so that our designers and artists can use Disney concepts and designs in their own designs, and then as a customer you can go in and personalize it. And that's just incredibly powerful for designers to be given freedom to do something that they wouldn't be able to do on their own, as well as customers to have something that's highly relevant for them, particularly when they're designing their child's nursery or birth announcements or children's birthday parties. And then on the flip side, again, we are all about art and design, and so we have a partnership with West Elm and Pottery Barn, where we sell our artists' artwork through those stores when folks are redecorating, and so it's an opportunity for us to get in front of customers at that important moment when they're redecorating, and for Pottery Barn and West Elm, it's an opportunity for them to tap into our large artist and design community. And then finally, we also have a partnership with Target, where we sell our greeting cards through Target. And again, that one is specifically around brand awareness of our printed products and our greeting cards, but also then to get customers into our personalized stationery. So if you buy a minted greeting card at Target, inside the little plastic covering is a promotion code to come back and shop at minted.com. Actually, I'm not sure Target lets us do that, but we've got something there that is allowed. I forget. I asked the question. This is where being COO and not the head of marketing is a challenge. We do something that helps customers find minted.com, but I don't think Target actually lets us put a promotion.
We can go in there and just start inserting.
Yeah, no, don't do that, because then I'm going to get in so much trouble.
It's a great idea, though, if it hasn't been done.
Yeah, I'm just going to plead that it's like 2 a.m. for me.
It is.
I don't know what
we're
which end is up.
We're all a little punchy with the time change for us. We have a few minutes left. I have 1 or 2 questions, but if there are audience questions, there is a mic. Does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask any of the panelists? You have a rare opportunity. All right. If not, I'll oh, yes, we have one right here. A mic's coming right to you. There you go.
Hi there. I have a startup business, which is a cheese and wine company.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
We're interested.
Yes.
it's called
Tell us
Mouse
more.
and Grape. And I'm just at the beginning of my journey in terms of thinking about partnership, looking at marketing. What advice would you give a startup at the start of this? And also just like a simple question of when you're looking to make partnerships, like, do you pay equally towards it or starting up like that? Just very basic for someone who does not know a lot about marketing. That would be great.
Good to ask the question. Does anyone want to
So-
start?
I'm probably the smallest company on the stage. What I would say is be very thoughtful about your partnerships. They can take an inordinate amount of time to put together, depending on who it is that you're partnering with and what level of leverage they have versus you have. And so I think starting with an organization and looking for partnerships where it's crystal clear what you bring and what you get and what they bring and they get, and it just looks like it's going to be easy. I'm a believer that the world tells you what you should and shouldn't do by making things hard or easy. And if you feel like you're pushing water uphill, you probably are. And if you feel like you're rolling a boulder downhill, you probably are.
Maybe to build on that, so we're a little bit bigger company, just a little bit, but I think for us when we think about our consumers, we say they're our true north, right? Consumers will tell you, and oftentimes we want to do these big splashy influencer or partnership things, but really oftentimes those consumers will lead you down that path. They'll tell you about the shop down the street that they just visited and they loved, right? They'll tell you about the new park that they love to go to. And if you listen and you get to know them well enough, I think you'll find those really organic, natural partnerships start to bubble up, as opposed to, like you said, really trying to push. It'll kind of marry itself together.
I wasn't clear if you're a DTC or a store. Are you a store? Oh, you're online.
Yeah.
Some of the things, keep it very simple, kind of everything that the Sarahs are saying. Our stores do a lot of local partnerships, very basic. Find a partner nearby, share a coupon, do an exchange, and it's really a quid pro quo. There is no contractual agreement. It doesn't have to be that complicated. It can be truly, let's share an ad. I'll post on your site, you post on mine, and we can sort of cross-reference, share customer. It can truly be that simple. It doesn't have to be, and I think having done and worked on startups, at the very beginning, it's really about satisfying and making your customers happy with the experience end to end, because you need them to come back. And building that awareness cycle outside of yourself. So those really simple cross shares, really basic, is really all you need as you build your word of mouth.
Yeah, so I'll just jump on. So first off, congratulations and wishing you great success. I would say that first off, ensure that you know who you are as a brand, and don't sway that for anyone. Make sure as you think of partnerships that you're thinking of partnerships that elevate and highlight the strengths of your brand and have overlap from a consumer standpoint with the people that you're trying to target. Secondly, don't be afraid to start small. Testing and learning is going to be really important for you, because not all partnerships are equal. And so you're going to find the path that works for you and your brand, and make sure that you define those KPIs up front. What are you trying to get out of this relationship? What is the movement that you're expecting to see in your brand? And measure everything that you can measure, and then make those decisions based off of that data. But great success, and excited to get some mouse and mouse and grape?
Mouse and grape.
Mouse and
Everybody
grape.
check
Everybody
out Mouse
go buy
and Grape.
Mouse
Mouse and
and
Grape.
grape. Today.
5 new consumers.
Please.
Yes, we will all test you out. Who doesn't love wine and cheese? Are there any other questions? Yes.
Hi there. Yeah, I work for an automotive parts business, and we're in a classic car sector. And it's very difficult to read the tensions, as Christopher put it, in terms of what is influencing your customer right now, what the current financial constraints are on your customer, and how that's going to affect their trend in purchases. So for you, really, what is populating your tension map? What data are you pulling in? What are your customers telling you? Is it their order frequency, how much they're spending, decline in spends? I understand that the USA is suffering equal footing in terms of cost of living crisis driven by oil prices. So really, what is populating that map and advising you on your reward system, your reward scheme?
Yeah, no, thanks for the question. So as we look at our tension map, and specifically in the category of kind of the social economic cofactors that are facing customers, we do look at, what is the actual, especially over the last few years, the inflationary rate, what is the consumer price index, and what are the relationships between them? What are those financial challenges that our customers are facing on a day-to-day basis, right? To really kind of level set with setting expectations of what's possible and believable in the life of those customers, right? But then we try to add on layers of where is the value proposition that we can provide that provides a level of benefit that is counter to some of those negative pressures that they're facing. So the financial situation of consumers is evolving, and it has been a challenging few years for a lot of consumers. And so we had to be realistic of value being a really important equation for us, right? And so we have this thing called the value equation, and we look at price, service, image over benefit. And so is the price, the service, the image, meaning the brand allure and value that we provide as a brand, outweighing the cost of what it is that we're offering, right? And so that is always part of the equation to make sure that we are anchored on the best value from our consumer. Value not being price, but value being what we bring to the table.
I would just add, we do a yearly omnibus and intercept study where we actually stop our customers at the store and online. That is one of the most valuable studies that we do. It's always an indicator of how our consumers will behave in the future. It gives us a lot of nuggets. And that's both a survey. As I mentioned, we stop customers online and ask them about their purchase behavior, why they're shopping, why they didn't shop, and even at the store level. And it's incredibly beneficial. Also helps us with our NPS score, which gives us a data point. And it always gives us a view on how customers are feeling about share of wallet, our price point, what they're concerned about. And we take that information and we spread it across our organization to help decide things like price point, what kind of products we need, marketing messaging as well. It allows us to test different messaging. So that's something that we instilled many years ago. We measure same questions across years. Very, very helpful.
Love that. So let's wrap up with one brand. This is a pop quiz. They don't know. This is a Hail Mary question. What brand do you think is doing a great job retaining customers right now? It can't be your brand, but what brand do you, as a customer, because we're all customers in this room, think is doing a really good job retaining you? I'm going to start while I give you time to think. I think Sephora is doing a phenomenal job. Their loyalty program has always been really, really incredible. But the personalized, the small test sizes, the things that they get me into a new brand and they level me up, really, they've brought me along this journey. In a million years, I never thought I'd be spending what I'm spending there. And they've just really naturally kind of ratcheted me up. So I will go there even if it's $1 or $2 more because there are points. They know my shopping habits. They know when it's time to refill things. I think they do such a lovely job of messaging you without saying, like, buy me. It's time for your refill. Are you ready? Delay me 30 days. Like, there's a nice cadence to it that doesn't feel as pushy as some of the other messaging. So who would like to go first with your brand?
Okay, I can go. Similarly, but very different, Starbucks. And the reason I say Starbucks is, who here thinks that Starbucks is the best coffee option they have? Who here uses the app all the time because it's just so dang easy?
Yes.
Right? I mean, it's just, they have figured out what matters to their customers, and they have nailed it with their app. And I think that comes back to, what I was talking about earlier with the partnerships. Like, just know your customer, know what they want, stay focused, don't get distracted. And if I may, as we're closing up, I think one other thing that we talked about, and this is my pitch as COO, if you are a marketer and you're looking for sort of one tangible thing that you can do when you get back to the office or even as soon as you walk out of here, connect with your operations partner. Go have lunch, go have tea, coffee, breakfast, whatever, and start to build that relationship. About 2 months ago, I was in an executive marketing meeting because I think it's really important for us to be completely integrated. And our head of marketing was saying, well, we used to run this campaign and it was one of our most productive campaigns, but we can't do it anymore because of operational blah, blah, blah. And she moved on. And I was like, what do we need to do to enable this marketing campaign again? And so we haven't figured it out entirely. And as we head into peak, my engineering team is not happy with an additional request. So I can't guarantee we're going to get it done, but I think that spirit of partnership is so critical because if we can get it done for this year, it will be an incredibly powerful unlock for peak. So really encourage you to build those cross-functional partnerships because you never know where enablement for a powerful campaign could come.
I love that. The end-to-end push is really important for marketers to really understand where in the value chain are there and where you can continue to optimize. Thinking of brands that get me excited in this loyalty space, this will be counter to the shoes I'm wearing. Now that everyone's looked at my shoes, okay, back up. I absolutely adore Rothy's. I think they're doing a phenomenal job just at retaining my loyalty. They have made me a unofficial brand advocate. They don't know that. # please sponsor me. But absolutely do adore Rothy's Shoe Company for what they're doing. And they really got me for the sustainability messaging. I tell everybody about the recycled water bottles. I absolutely love the shoes. They're washable, but they do such a great job of their messaging and reminding me as a consumer why it's important and getting me to come back time and time again. Of the 5 pairs of shoes I brought for this trip, 4 of them are Rothy's, which I'll be wearing for the rest of the show.
Yeah, exactly. Very comfortable.
So I have 3 answers, but they all have something related that Sarah mentioned. Sephora, sorry CTM, you're not on the list yet.
Yikes.
Sephora, Dunkin', and Starbucks. And what they all have in common is an incredible app experience. And one thing I've noticed in the US is app usage has skyrocketed. We have an app, we're investing in our app. It's so important to loyalty. We find our best customers use it. That experience is critical. It's a logo on a phone. I mean, how can you beat that from a brand awareness perspective? And all 3 of those brands do such a great job. And I'm actually not a Dunkin' fan.
Yeah.
Don't love their coffee. Their food's awful.
No.
But their app experience is incredible. How easy it is. They do a better job than we do, really, right now. It is to exchange points for an item, even while I can order while I'm heading there. Like the whole thing end to end just makes it easy for me to decide, okay, yes, that's where I'm going to go to pick up whatever. So that's really what unlocks, I think, a lot of that loyalty. But
Perfect. I'm sad that we're not on
not
anyone's
yet.
list.
I said not yet.
But,
She had 4. It was on
I'll just
there.
go cry in the corner after I leave. But I think next year it's going to be Mouse and Grape. I'm looking forward to that. But I would say as the digital guy, I would have to say Amazon. And I tell people all the time, like, Amazon's website is not pretty. It's not the, funnest site. But damn it, is it easy, and they definitely have taken away a lot of the tensions in my life, making it really easy to get the repeat things that I need to get on a regular basis. They were poster child in subscription services. So, I think Amazon still is king in, building expectations from a digital experience as well. So I put them on my list, along with all the other brands here listed today.
It's funny. I almost started this whole panel with a stat about Amazon's app. So if you are an Amazon Prime member, this was a stat I read about a week ago, so the numbers should still be accurate. Every time you go to either the app or the website, if you are a Prime member, they are checking out with at least one, if not multiple items in their cart, 74% of the time. That conversion rate is bananas.
Amazing.
I'd take it.
Anyone, right? We would all take that. So while it might not be pretty, and of course they do sell more than, the average store, knowing that sometimes it's just about the efficiency to purchase, and they are not always the cheapest. They are not always the, you might not always want to shop them, but there is something there. So thank you for listening to us today. We hope we've imparted some knowledge, and we will be around for the rest of the show. Thank you.